Week 15, live dogs. We always come up with a list. We've got 16 games now that buys are done. I'm assuming the first team on your list is a team that you have locked in going to the playoffs, the Rams tomorrow, right?
No, I bet Niners money line.
Okay, that's true. Yeah, don't get
I
thrown
did.
off by the playoff ranking, the power rankings. You do like San Francisco in that game, the short favorite. It's 2.5. I mean, just as far as that game quickly before we march on to some of these dogs, if we word on Bosa and or Trent Williams, is that going to do anything here?
You could see San Fran get to 3 for sure.
You could see
I mean,
3. Okay, I was thinking it could
that's
drop to
certainly
2.
possible.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a halfway number with those two guys right now. If they're both in, you see 3. If they're both out, you see 2, 1.5. The current market on money line is interesting because you do have a decent range. Some books are at minus 135. Others are as high as minus 150. So understand that if you're betting minus 150 right now and you log into your book and you either bet it straight or you start wheeling it with other things, parlaying it with other stuff, minus 150 is not the place to do it, or not the price to do it at. But there are a couple American books right now that are minus 135. That is the price. And that is the price that I bet 2 days ago. San Francisco, I actually bet minus 130. Not the past post on this program, but 5-cent run right now from 130 to 135. I still like 135. But when you get into that 140, 145, and certainly into the 150 range, that is just something that you have to understand. You cannot bet minus 145, minus 150 when there are still multiple minus 135s in the market.
When you get to this point in the year, and it's something I'm reminded when thinking about Survivor, and I'm going to have a bunch of Survivor plays that I'm going to have to make this week, being in revivals and double picks every single week, you've got to kind of go a little bit of dumpster diving. But after what I've seen the last few weeks, it just reminds you that as the season plays out, you don't see as many huge upsets, certainly like we saw in the first month of the season. So these numbers that are touchdown or higher, we've got one this week that is 15. It's a little bit more difficult to find some of these live dogs. But as you talk about that number of 2.5, the game of the week has that exact same number. And it's worth mentioning because it's the big game of the week, even though we're not at 3. I like Buffalo. Buffalo at Detroit, 2.5. I expect the Bills to be a live dog in this spot. How about you?
I will bet Buffalo for sure. I was talking with a couple guys at the Superbook yesterday. I'm writing a story about it for Fox, and they actually reopened the look-ahead number at 3, and right away, pow, Buffalo plus 3. A lot of these Vegas books are down to 2. I'm looking Circa, Superbook, South Point, down to 2, Pinnacle 2. BetMGM still has 2.5, and that's flat. So that is one of the best places in the country right now to bet Buffalo, plus 2.5. So it didn't take much. When you reopen a market on Sunday night and you reopen at 3, your limits are not high. It's like $1,000 limit. So you take one bet or two bets plus 3 at a dime, you move to 2.5 right away. It didn't take long. In fact, I'm going to pull up the time log here. So they reopened this 3 at 6:59 p.m. Eastern. By 7:30, it's already 2.5. Like, it didn't take much. And now we started to bleed down through the 2.5. Those are the numbers that they cleaned up, though, Monday, because it's Wednesday right now. My days all run together. I'm sure they do for you. But we saw a lot of those 2.5s go away on Monday. The fact that they were still willing to bet Buffalo plus 2.5 is very eye-opening. And let's also remember this. Detroit is down multiple bodies on defense. And Detroit, as we know, as Chicago guys, Detroit struggles against mobile quarterbacks. Justin Fields carved them up on the ground last year. Absolutely destroyed them. And the Bears should have won both of those games outright. They ended up splitting 1-1. They are not good against mobile quarterbacks. And if you look at the Lions' schedule this year, I was actually going through these teams with Ed Sammons from the Westgate yesterday. They have not really played a dual threat quarterback this year. Here's the guys they've played: Stafford, Mayfield, Murray, Geno, Dak, Darnold, Levis, Love, Stroud, Mac Jones, Anthony Richardson. Okay, there's one, but Richardson's it's not a passing threat. Caleb and then Love again. They haven't really faced a guy that can take off and burn or looks to take off and burn.
We could put Kyler in there.
Kyler rushed 4 times in that game. Now, Josh Allen's he's gonna run, and he's gonna not only run around you, he's gonna run through you. And that's an aspect that Detroit under Dan Campbell has not been great against. So Caleb rushed for 4 and 39 against Detroit on Thanksgiving. And then Kyler in week number 3, rushed for 5 carries and 45 yards. Okay, better than Caleb. Allen's going to run the ball. And if you can keep Detroit on the sideline, you can beat Detroit. No doubt.
All right, there's another one I want to mention. What about you? What stands out as a live dog that you want to throw out there?
Well, my favorite one is Buffalo. That's not really a surprise, nor is it a hot take.
No.
I wish I could bet Cleveland. Can't do it.
Yeah, I knew just by your face that there was a game that you want to say.
Do it.
Where's the bell? No bell?
You're right. You're right. I should never say I can't do it in the NFL. Oh, you're right. Look ahead 5.5. Now we're down to 4. There was a 3.5 yesterday that was just super crazy that we're in the world where we're looking at the Super Bowl champs that have 1 loss are only a 3.5, 4-point favorite against a 3-10 team. It doesn't even make sense, does it?
No. But what's going to happen is they're going to win and not cover.
Oh, so they win by 1 or 3?
Or 2, like this past week. Yeah. Yeah, they just keep doing that again.
What if they just ragdoll Cleveland and win 24-3?
Yeah, they could. Absolutely could. And how many interceptions Jameis going to throw? That's always in play. And that always scares you off a little bit. So I understand why you said you can't. I kind of had a similar reaction. People didn't say they can't when they bet the +6 early this week. It makes perfect sense that this was bet down to 4, though.
The other team I wanted to throw at you. The other team. Dallas +2.5 at Carolina.
Dallas favored on the look ahead. Carolina's not only favored, but it's almost touching 3 now.
I know.
They bet Carolina early in the week. Yeah, I stopped at that one too. How long does this Carolina run? They've been playing great ball for 5 weeks now. 5 weeks. Dallas, terrible. And then you had the fluky finish where the idiot touches the ball after the blocked punt where that would have set them up to possibly win that game on Monday night. I thought about it too, but I also, Cooper Rush, oh God, did he look bad against a very poor defense? Maybe worse than Carolina, at least the way that they're playing right now. Bryce Young looks good. He's not throwing up 300 yards, but he's been efficient, and he's not turning the ball over. They've got a lot of confidence right now in Carolina. So I don't hate them being the favorite, but as far as would I be surprised if the Cowboys win that game? No, not at all. And that's a Cowboys team that's actually played better on the road this year.
You have 2 schools of thought. You have one group that'll say, well, it's so obvious, you got to take Carolina. When a team this bad is laying points, you take them. But then there's the other side. Why is Carolina laying almost 3? Right? And we think ourselves into a pretzel and then fire a bet. How about this? Let me take this to a teaser. How about Dallas +8.5? You got look ahead, Dallas -2. Now Dallas +2.5, and you can add 6 more and pair it with something else. Dallas +8.5, total 43. Yeah, I'll bet that.
Don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all. The way you lose the bet is Carolina winning by margin. Okay. I'm good with that. CeeDee Lamb, how's he going to do? Well, a couple weeks ago against Tampa Bay, they pushed Tampa, but Evans ended up having a big game. And we've seen that from some of the other ones that have faced them. So, sure, could CeeDee Lamb have good performance? Certainly. Cortland Sutton, week number 8, he had 100 yards against Carolina. But people would say that they're playing like a different team. Let me throw one other one out there quickly. New England off the bye, getting 5-6 against Arizona. Kyler with multiple interceptions the last 2 weeks. I just look at the Cardinals. Should they really be favored by that much?
No.
Are they live? Is New England live? I think they might be.
I don't know.